Hello, everybody. Welcome to another review from the Power Bomb Project. I am one of your hosts, Daniel, joined by my other two hosts.
Yes, bro.
Hey, Chris.
And today we are talking about AEW All Out 2023. So, before we talk about that, though, we have some news that has come out in the last week, and it's pretty crazy news. Um, yeah, CM Punk is fired by AEW. Yeah, that's right. They fired CM Punk.
Good.
As for Jack Perry, he as for Jack Perry, he got indefinitely suspended. I mean, I don't think anyone cares. I don't
I
care.
care
Why?
because he didn't do anything wrong.
He didn't do anything.
Because
Okay,
because he's a
sure.
man who wanted to use glass and not fake glass. So CM Punk could just mind his own damn business and nothing would have happened.
Man, you realize part of the reason Perry got in trouble because Punk wasn't the only guy telling him not to use real glass. AEW was also telling him not to use real glass.
Too bad.
So it wasn't, but whatever, man. If you want to disagree, we'll disagree. I'll talk about what CM Punk did here in a second. But yeah, as for Jack Perry, he's kind of a nobody mid carder on the roster. You can literally fire him, and not. I mean, I think he should be fired personally. If you're gonna fire Punk, you might as well fire Perry too while you're at it. But it's kind of whatever, what there because let's be real. I'm not even saying this right because of whatever. I mean, let's be real here. The dude was coming out with the fucking Mozart or Beethoven. He looked like a jackass. He wasn't funny at all.
Yes, he
He
was.
wasn't doing anything worth of value. He was basically Christian Light. That was his character. And he wasn't even doing any of the fun shit like roasting people's dead fathers or anything. He was just being a loser, whiny little bitch on TV, crying about the fact that he couldn't beat the AEW champion or the New Japan champion. But that's a separate story. My whole point is I guess since he's one of the elite's friends and one of the self-proclaimed four pillars, we gotta value Jungle Jack too. I guess we gotta. And yeah, I mean, does Punk deserve to be fired? I'm not gonna say no, but I just for personally feel like there was a lot that could have been prevented in this situation. The person I'm most mad at is Tony Khan for the fact that he couldn't simply get the elite and CM Punk to sit down and solve their problems. Because if they simply did that, I feel like a lot of the stuff that followed would have never happened. But shit, man, it goes back to my point of how Tony isn't really a boss, more of a booker in terms of like he likes to fantasy book these matches, puts them together, all that stuff. He won't really build up to these matches. He just relies on the talent, which sometimes pays off. It did for this show that we're about to talk about, but sometimes it won't. And yeah, overall, I said it last week. Tony Khan didn't take care of the Eddie Kingston Sammy situation. He didn't take care of many situations in the past. The dude just let shit fester amongst the talent. And it's pretty pathetic, if you ask me. So he's not running a wrestling company. It sounds like he's running a fucking zoo, but that's besides the point. I mean, it's very hard for me to act like Punk is the only one in the wrong because if you have any bit of a functioning brain, you'll know for a fact that's not the case. Like, did Punk do some wrong? Absolutely. I am not going to dispute that one bit. Based off the stuff that's been reported, based off some of the stuff that I've heard, yeah. If some of the reports are true, if most of the reports are true, then yeah, he's definitely in the wrong in a lot of things here. But to only antagonize Punk like many and many of these fans have is fucking pathetic. And I might as well include you, Chris. in that camp
What the fuck did I do?
of people who do
I
that
can take
shit.
on Punk.
You were out here.
He sucked at
You
UFC. I
were
can
out.
take him.
You were out here only putting the blame on one person rather than realize it was everybody involved who was in the wrong.
Man, Jack
You
Perry
were
didn't do
part of that
nothing.
camp.
He didn't do nothing wrong. He just wanted to be
What about
cool.
Tony Khan? What about the Elite? What about Adam Page? What about everyone else?
Cry me a river. That's all I gotta say to you,
See,
Daniel.
you only have to blame CM Punk, you little bitch. You can't even go through the facts, man.
Listen, man.
I'll just say,
Fucking politics are going to exist no matter what form of entertainment there is. And you're just gonna have to deal with it.
listen, man. You can't just look at one side and be defensive over one side. You clearly like skinny twink marks like Jungle Jack, who wants to use real glass for his spots, and that's why you're defending him.
Listen, man. Just because he's not like an old ass boomer like CM Punk and can barely do anything in the ring
I don't
without
think
getting
it's about
injured.
being an old ass boomer. I think Jack is just a fucking degenerate for even wanting to do
Listen,
that
man.
shit.
Just let the young kids do what they want. Who gives a shit?
Uh, I'm not even gonna fucking
Listen, man.
continue.
People
This
divide
shit's so
their own.
stupid.
CM Punk isn't the boss. If Tony had a problem, he should have had some balls and went up to him and told him no. But he did it. So CM Punk thought he had to do it.
This
Bro,
man's full of shit,
bro,
people.
he's like the crew leader nobody fucking wanted.
The crew leader nobody wanted.
Fucking white dude
Man,
pretending
he
to be a
wasn't
blue
even.
tee.
He wasn't. Listen here, man. I get that. Like I already said, CM Punk did some wrong. But if you're not gonna act like his "Cry Me a River" comment was fucking childish and stupid, and if you're not gonna act like the Young Bucks doing a victory lap after Collision was one of the most pathetic things ever, then I don't know what to say to you.
We'll just agree to disagree, man. But anything else?
Chris, you're wrong.
Oh,
Jungle and CM Punk should have been fired both. I don't care. It's very stupid what happened. Even if I completely agree with Daniel for everything because it just makes very stupid thing about Tony Khan just being not even a general manager, but just a zookeeper, more or less. Not even doing the keeper, not doing the keeping, just doing the zoo. That's all. It's very stupid. I don't. It's very stupid. CM Punk should have been there so much. I think CM Punk has been very fun to watch, and I just very stupid that they did this. But again, there's nothing. Something else we should mention that there are a lot of rumors that CM Punk wants to come back, make his return to WWE too.
And you know what? I will say this: while there's a lot of old beef, and a lot of people are saying that Punk might even come across as hypocritical in a similar way to where Cody Rhodes did for coming back to WWE. But at this point, AEW literally pushed him to the other side, so it's like whatever.
we just used him like the cow he is. We milked him for all of his profit. We don't need his ass anymore.
The AEW mark has spoken.
Yeah,
We don't want him. We don't need him. He can go and get eaten by fucking Roman Reigns. He could be a jobber over there too. We, I don't want him. Waste
What do
of
you
this
mean you
man.
don't
waste of
want him?
waste of
You're
my
fake as fuck, you know that? These past 3 months, you haven't insulted him at all while he's been back. And then all of a sudden, you're over here shitting all over the man. Where was this energy the past year?
It was always there, man.
Chris is the freaking. Chris is the AEW whore.
Yes, he is.
Listen,
Yeah,
man.
that's the perfect way of describing it.
You tell WWE to start making better shows and better pay-per-views, and then I'll change my mind. But they're not.
Man, open your mind to more companies than just two
Motherfucker, I watched
American companies.
NXT and New Japan. What the hell are you talking about? That's
You
more than
don't watch
enough.
New Japan. That's bullshit.
I watched the pay-per-views.
You watch one pay-per-view.
I watched 2 pay-per-views.
Fine, whatever, man.
Well, it's not my fault, dude. The freaking
Two.
shows are
All
like
right,
at like 2 in
fine.
the
Yeah, you have
morning.
the 2 pay-per-views. I forgot. I made you watch another Wrestle Kingdom. But
Oh, I
anyways,
didn't watch that.
yeah. I guess Berman basically summed it up perfectly. I mean, yeah, if they're gonna go all the way with firing Punk, you might as well just fire both parties involved. I just wish that it never got to this point. I just think it could have all been avoided. But that's all I really have to end it at. It's pathetic.
He's gonna do the same shit in WWE. Just you wait. He's gonna do the exact same fucking thing.
Y'all, this
Because
is
he can't
a
control his
fake ass
anger.
motherfucker.
He can't
I'm
be a
letting you know
man.
right now.
He can't control his fucking feelings. He's gonna pull the same shit once he goes over there.
Or maybe it's just the fact that AEW didn't have their wrestlers on the check. But me and you clearly make an entire debate episode just on this, but we're not going to do that today.
We
But
gotta
we won't have
review.
that much time.
We gotta review.
We got to review. We got a review to do. So let's dive into it. AEW All Out. So the day they fired Punk, get this statistic. As soon as Punk was announced on Collision that he was fired, nearly 90,000 people immediately switched the channel or turned off their television and stopped watching Collision. And you want to know another fun fact? The first ever Collision episode that doesn't have CM Punk was the lowest viewed episode of Collision in the entire show's history, despite the fact that one episode earlier this year went against SummerSlam. So what does that really say about the rest of the roster without Punk? What does that really say?
It says you're a bunch
But
of marks that only care about
but
one person. That's what I gotta say, fake fans.
get Tony Khan's dick out of your mouth.
Those motherfuckers only came to Collision for the main event with CM Punk.
See, you can't even
They're
take it
lying.
seriously anymore. You know you're full of shit. You know you have Tony Khan's cock up your ass. You love it.
Man.
You're all for it. Let
Just
me
one
just say what I have to say. You're a mark for AEW if all the Punk people are marks, sir. Now let's continue.
Okay.
Now, we've got to keep in mind, people, me and Chris are being satirical with each other. We know Hangman Adam Page did a post earlier today not to harass other fan bases. So, yeah, despite whether you're a Punk fan, an Elite fan, or even a Jungle Jack fan, don't harass other fans. That's the one thing we could say here. Don't go on the internet harassing other people. Pretty simple. So, yeah, back to the whole point. That was a very dark and depressing Collision episode. Especially when you hear that entire arena boo the Young Bucks at the end of the show. So the next day, All Out, it already was being kind of handicapped in the sense to where it was getting no build, and it was the week after All In. So it already felt like it was doomed from the get-go. And then with Punk Punk getting fired, the planned main event was Punk versus Ricky Starks for the real world title. Ricky did get a different match, but it wasn't in the main event. Sadly, wasn't. But that's fine. So, with all that being said, AEW had to make a statement. Not just against Punk, not just against the doubters, but against all the naysayers that believe AEW is just a company that borrows from WWE and New Japan and they can't create any of their new stars. This pay-per-view was a reminder that they can. And you'll see that through multiple matches on this card. This show was a massive statement. And it was more than about CM Punk. So, what do you guys think about this pay-per-view before we dive into it?
I really liked it. I was actually going in with bad expectations because I didn't think it was a lot of build-up and anything you said. But it ended up to be a great pay-per-view. Definitely one of the best pay-per-views there right on this year, I would say. And it had so much It had so many great matches too, so that's the only thing I have to say.
And besides that too, I felt some character growth within some of these factions and some of these people. I'm sure there wasn't any much of storytelling, but god damn it, some of these matches deliver that, and I'm kind of excited to see where most of these wrestlers are going.
So, yeah, with that being said, we do have the timestamps in the description below. I probably should have mentioned that before we talked about CM Punk and Jack Perry, but that's fine. We will be talking about the 0 Hour right now, which does not count towards our overall grades for the pay-per-view. Then we'll be talking about the main show. So, let's dive into it. First off, on the 0 Hour, we got the over-budget Battle Royale. So, I'm going to pull up every single name that is featured on this Battle Royale. So, bear with me, people. Featured in this, we got Hangman Adam Page, Brian Cage, and you know what? I said I was going to say the rest of the names. Well, I lied because it doesn't have the rest of the names listed. But those were the final two. So keep that in mind. You had a lot of mid-carders, a lot of jobbers, a lot of people in this Battle Royale. And then you had those a few top talent like Hangman Adam Page. So I'm not a big fan of Battle Royales. You all know this. And I couldn't help but feel like this was just another Battle Royale. Just very average, very much whatever. I did like the final two sequence between Page and Brian Cage. They both got very good chemistry in the ring. And yeah, that's pretty much the highlight of this match. Hangman Adam Page got the dub, and he gave his $50K to a Chicago charity. So good stuff. Overall, I'm going to have to give it a 5 out of 10. I just thought it was kind of whatever, just a match to pass time for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was mid. The only thing I'm gonna say is just it was very mid. Very. I'm not the big. I do like mid battle royals depending on the people who was in it, but this was just nothing special except the two, and just the two final points, which is Danny just said. So I would just say it's gonna be a 5 for me too.
And yeah, as predictable as Hangman was going to win, I was kind of rooting for Scorpio Sky to actually take it, but I knew it was going to happen. It was whatever. It's a 5.
Now, we move on to the 6-woman tag. In this, we got Athena, Mercedes Martinez, and Diamante versus Hikaru Shida, Willow Nightingale, and Skye Blue. Overall, I thought this was decent for what it was worth. You know, I can't really say too much about it. Just a decent low pre-show match here. And you got Skye Blue, the hometown person from this match, get the pinfall. So yeah, that gives it a little bit of a bonus point for me. Overall, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, it was really. It was not bad actually. I did like this match. It was kind of mid a little bit, but it had some good points. Yeah, this was. I feel like this is just going to set up Athena for whoever goes against Athena to go and take that ROH title from her. I feel like, but it's cool that I think Skye Blue got the win. I think it was really. I do like it, so I give it a 5.5.
And yep, surprisingly, it was nice, simple, short. The only thing I have a problem with is I haven't been watching Ring of Honor, so I don't know what the fuck they did to Billy Starks, but whatever they did to her, that was stupid. I don't know why she's a fan of Athena. She's
A
not a
minion
fan.
now.
She's a minion. I don't know what happened. I don't care. I'm gonna give it 5.5.
You know what though? I guarantee she's going to be the one to beat Athena then, because there's a story.
It only took him almost a
But
year, but it's fine.
well, now we move on to the worst match of the entire night. Thankfully, this was on the 0 Hour, and it features Jeff Jarrett. Of course, the worst match of the night features Jeff Jarrett. It's a 6-man tag for the AEW Trios Championships. The Acclaimed versus Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh. Yeah, this was mediocre. It was forgettable. And you know what I think about Jeff Jarrett. I want that dude out of AEW. I want him retired. I am fucking sick of seeing him. I'm giving this a 4.5. I'm not wasting any more of my breath on this.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the exact same thing because I'm not the big. It was. It kind of felt fun, but it was just no. It was a little too. I don't mediocre, something maybe lower than mediocre. So I'm gonna give this same grade 4.5.
And honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. This match sucked ass. I love Jeff Jarrett, but this shit was fucking garbage. I'm giving this a fucking 2. That shit was ass.
Okay. Now, that was the 0 hour. But now it's time for the main show. So, to kick things off, we got match number uno, the opener, for the ROH Tag Team Championship. Better Than You, baby, versus Dark Order. Now, I gotta say it. When I first thought of this match and looked at this match, it was like, yeah, this probably shouldn't be on a pay-per-view. But, they were able to tell a good story, and they were able to have a pretty good match here, actually. You got MJF who really, really engaged with the crowd, and surprisingly, he's become the most over babyface in all of AEW, and I think it works. I love it. I think MJF as a face right now, I'm happy that they're actually letting this breathe. They're actually letting him cook as a babyface, seeing what it could be, what it could lead to, and I'm really happy that they're giving that a shot, I really am. It's a good, unique change for MJF. So whenever he does become a heel again, I'll be like, okay, cool. At least they tested, him as a babyface at least. And I know he's not just, a one-dimensional guy anymore. I mean, because at one point I was starting to think, is he just one-dimensional? But obviously he's been able to showcase that he's not. And he was able to have a good story with his neck, being targeted throughout the match. And he even had to go to the back. So it was Adam versus Dark Order 1v2 for a while. And then eventually MJF came back fighting, and you can make the argument, if you don't trust MJF, that what if he is faking his neck problems so he can wrestle less? Because you know how he complains all the time that he has to wrestle a lot. So I am keeping that in mind. That is a possibility that he could be faking this neck injury to get out of the matches. It is possible. But I'm not going to say that's exactly what it is. Not yet. I do think it is somewhat legit storyline wise, and he is telling the truth. And yeah, but he was able to make the comeback. And thanks to him being able to come back, they were both able to get the win. MJF hit that glorious kangaroo kick, and they were able to hit the double clothesline to get that W. Beautiful stuff. Overall, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Something happened after the match, which led into the second match, but we'll talk about that after what these two have to say about this match. I think an 8 out of 10 is a fair score for me personally.
Yeah, to me, it was very fun. I actually was excited for this match, too, because I loved Dark Order's matches in general. They had great matches in Ring of Honor recently, and some in some like Dynamite. It had a lot of fun. I always liked watching Dark Order wrestle. They had fun matches. So it was very fun. I actually really liked this match. The only thing that I don't, and this is just because the team itself, I like the Better Than You, baby. I just not feeling the tag team finisher. Like, it's double clothesline, I know, but every tag team uses a double clothesline just to do something to it. But I think that's just a part of the joke. I think I just want to see a better finisher that's maybe like salt in the earth plus the boom, like a submission with with the knee strike right back the head. Sounds better than that, or like something interesting, just something that has more impact. But I think it's still fun. Everyone loves it, so I still love it. The match was fun, so I'm gonna give this an 8. I liked the match; it was good.
And yeah, you know what?
Sorry about that, y'all. Technical difficulties there, I guess. But we're moving on to match 2. Ring of Honor TV Championship, Samoa Joe versus Shane Taylor. Now, Samoa Joe was walking down the ramp, and MJF and Adam Cole were walking up after they won their match. But Samoa Joe decided to shove MJF. And because basically MJF back in 2015, he was a security guard for WWE. at 18 years old. He was a security guard. And he was one of the security guards in particular who walked out with Samoa Joe during an infamous takeover entrance. And Joe shoved him. And then that's what he did now here. And Samoa Joe even had like a smile on his face after he did it this time because he feels like he could just do it to him and nothing can happen. But MJF now that he's AEW champ and evolved MJF, he's like, nah, I ain't taking that shit. So he goes to the ring and starts fighting him, even with the bad neck. And the brawl has to be taken apart. So that was pretty huge. And I know right now we're doing a Grand Slam tournament, but here's what I think. I think we do the Grand Slam tournament, but then we're also probably going to have Samoa Joe versus MJF at Wrestle Dream. If not Wrestle Dream, then the farthest I think they could push this out is Full Gear. But I'd assume they do the Joe match at Wrestle Dream, then the Adam Cole match at Full Gear. Because I do think MJF and Adam Cole will fight again. I just don't think it'll be immediate. But yeah, what do you guys think about the MJF and Samoa Joe stuff? The potential of a title match and potential of it main eventing Grand Slam, Wrestle Dream, Full Gear, whatever.
I think it's fun. I actually really am interested. I think the match could be very interesting because both uses submissions. Pretty much. So I really like the match. I think it sounds very interesting to watch.
Yeah, I'm honestly excited for it, but I hope there's a. God fucking damn it! Oh, sorry. Okay, what part are we at?
On your side of what do you think about Samoa Joe
Hello,
shoving
everybody.
Them up.
NJF, and what do you think about the main eventing the next pay per view or one of the next pay per views?
Okay. I don't know what is happening. My bad. I'll fix
Danny,
this
are you
in a
still there?
minute.
Yeah.
If they end up succeeding in the main event, hopefully there's stipulations against MJF and Samoa Joe because I kind of want them to go all out with it. Maybe make it into like a hardcore match or something in the previous past because I know they had encounters of that clip of the NXT thing where MJF was just like a guard or whatever. But if it does happen, I'm cool with it. But they need to build the story up, and I'm sure they will.
Now. Oh, wait, what?
No, that was it.
Okay. Now we talk about the Ring of Honor TV Championship match. Samoa Joe is defending against Shane Taylor, who won a tournament on ROH. And yeah, nobody knew that because nobody really watches ROH, but that's besides the point. When it comes down to it, this match was decent and it was solid enough. And, I guess the main reason this match was even on the pay per view was really for that MJF and Samoa Joe stuff. So, I mean, yeah, this was quick. And I guess if it wasn't for that, then I'd kind of be like, why the fuck is this on the pay per view? But yeah, overall, it's the weakest match of the main show, but it's still solid enough. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. Joe retains. That was pretty evident. And he's been champ for like over a year now. And it hasn't really felt like he's done all that much with the TV title. I mean, he's had an all right reign. I don't know. I'm very iffy on him with that TV title still because he's been holding it for so long. And I feel like that title is just kind of more of a, how do I say it? It feels like it's more of a title that pesters Tony Khan more than the title that Tony Khan actually wants to book. But that's just me.
Yeah, the match was fun. It's not that bad. It was the weakest one I said, but I do agree it was pretty much only because this was only on the show because of Samoa Joe and NGF interaction. But yeah, I think it was interesting. And for the ROH Championship stipulation thing, I don't know about the whole. It's weird because he's not doing anything. I feel like I just feel like they're going to try making him have it forever. I don't feel like there's anyone like has like build or like anything. So I feel like right now ROH doesn't. No one watches it. No one really knows about it at this moment in time. So it's really dumb that they're doing how they're doing the ROH things. But I give this a 6.5.
Yeah. You know what the big problem I had with this match, outside of like the North storytelling? It was just the fact that I don't know what the gimmick of Shane Taylor is. Like he was a former boxer, right? That's actually true.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, because the thing is, like, it's just Samoa Joe and Shane Taylor basically just airboxing for like almost 10 minutes. And yeah, there were some cool things like Samoa Joe doing like a dive outside the ring, but it was just kind of mediocre. So it's just like, eh, I didn't really feel this match. It was kind of dumb, and if anything, we could have just had the segment with MJF and Samoa Joe, and that's about it. So I'll just give it a 5. It's very forgettable.
Now, match number 3, TNT Championship Match. Luchasaurus, even though the real TNT champion is Christian Cage, if we all know what we're really talking about here. But no, okay, TNT champion Luchasaurus defending against Darby Allin, who has already been a 2-time TNT champion, looking to become a 3-time. And sadly, that did not happen. Darby Allin did not get the job done, but he sold his ass off and made sure that Luchasaurus looked like an absolute monster that cannot be reckoned with. And yeah, I feel like that job was pretty much successful. And Christian Cage right now, man, he's on the run of a lifetime. I'm loving just about every single thing he's doing. He's honestly taken MJF's spot as the top heel of the company, in my personal opinion. I'm loving it. And yeah, overall, it was a damn good match. A great way to sell Luchasaurus as a monster. And a lot of people like to give a lot of shit to Luchasaurus, but he's only had 2 pay-per-view matches, and one of them was with Jungle Jack. And in my personal opinion, it was one of the best matches of both men's careers. And then we go over to this match, and I thought it was pretty good. So overall, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, this was very fun. I actually really like this. The interference, the whole thing with Christian, I do. It's kind of interesting. I don't like how Christian's kind of acting with this, like being like a champion, being not a champion, but just acting like he's a champion, which he's not. He is a perfect heel in a good sense of the word. It is very interesting. The match was very fun. There's some brutal moments where like Luchasaurus was stepping on uh, Darby Allin with stairs added to it. That felt brutal. I felt that in my back when I was doing that. When I saw that happen, that was really interesting. I think the thing I really like too is at the end of the match, uh, Christian Cage wanted to concerto Darby Allin, but few of the people from the roster helped interfered in that and helped Darby Allin out, and I really like that kind of showing that people don't like Christian in the locker room, but a lot of people like Darby instead. So kind of like the contracts. I do like that. So for me, I really like this match. So I give this an 8.
And honestly, call me crazy, dude, but I wasn't even that blown away by the match. I mean, there was some cool spots of Luchasaurus doing the tombstone like numerous times with Darby Allin, and of course him stepping on the staircase. But it just felt like I've seen this kind of match before between Darby and other opponents done a little bit better. It would not saying it's bad necessarily, but it was just kind of like, I've seen this on a Dynamite. So for what it is, it was fun. I'll just give it a 6.
All right. Now, speaking of fun,
Meat.
yes, meat. That's what we have to talk about for this next match. Miro versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Man, this is the meatiest match I have ever seen. Big E is looking at these two with a big, big smile across his face. He started the meat revolution, and look how far it's gotten. We got 10,000 people out in Chicago chanting meat at the sight of 2 men hitting each other. If that's not beautiful, you have no fucking idea what the meaning of life is.
That was so funny too.
It was genius. It was absolutely genius. And you know, most wrestlers could have been pissed off at the crowd for trying to have fun. No, they actually went along with it, and it made the match so awesome. for the fact that they went along with it. Because even before, the crowd were going crazy. I felt like it was already a great physical, hard-hitting match. And then the crowd just made it even better. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, I found it kind of annoying, or, oh, this is going to become annoying. I'm sorry. To me, I didn't find this annoying. I found it to be a lot of fun. And honestly, I thought it was fantastic. I might even go as far as to say this is my favorite match in both Miro and Powerhouse Hobbs' careers. You can argue this was a bit of a breakout moment for Powerhouse Hobbs here, even though he lost. Miro did get that win. And I will admit, the big reason why I couldn't give this match a 10 was because of the funky ending where Rusev had his little finisher locked in, or not really all the way locked in, but Hobbs was already starting to tap. So that little ending kind of threw me off, and I was like, wait, what? As soon as it ended, but not like in a bad way, and it didn't really take much away from the match, but that did happen. And then, like I said, with the match still being great and physical, I felt like the first few minutes, while not bad at all, it was them trying to kind of get into the swing of it more and more. And they eventually did. And when it did, man, shit was hidden. So yeah, fantastic match. I'm going to give this a 9.5 out of 10. I will talk about what happened after the match, but I'll let these two say what they have to say first.
Yeah, this was a very fun match. A bunch of meats slapping against each other, pretty much. It was so funny to hear them saying meat, and just keep on saying it. It was very funny. I loved it. And the match was very good, very nice and physical. That moment at the end did catch me a little bit off guard. I was like, wait, what happened there? It definitely looked like it didn't think he would really tap at this point of time to me. So it kind of felt weird. But it was not something that could really terribly end the match for me. I really loved the match. It was actually very fun to watch. So I'm going to give this a 9.5.
Listen, man, it was meat out of meat. Literally, you get two big dudes. They may put on a 10-star match. This shit was fucking awesome from start to finish. And people are complaining about the ending, but they don't know what they're talking about. Daniel, they don't know what they're talking about. He's just being a mark again because it's not CM Punk. He's being biased as fuck. He doesn't know shit about wrestling. The shit's a 10.
You know what,
He just
Holmes?
fucking hates wrestling.
You know what, Holmes? Nah, I love wrestling. But tell me, was Miro's finisher locked in
Yeah.
at the end there? All right, you are as blind as a fucking bat then. But I'll let you have your 10 out of 10 if you want. That is perfectly fine.
It's not just my 10 out of 10. It's Berman's 10 out of 10 too.
I have the same opinion as Danny.
You must be mistaken, Berman, because you must have said 10.
Get Tony Khan's, get Miro's and Hobbs' dick out of your mouth, dude.
No. No.
Oh, God.
Done.
All right, now we move on to match number 5, the TBS Championship Match. Chris Statlander versus Ruby Soho. Now, a lot of people kind of just rolled their eyes at this match. And, myself, I didn't really expect too much from this match. Not that I necessarily thought it was going to be bad. I was like, all right, this could probably be something decent. We'll see what happens. This ended up being a really good match. Like a really good match. And honestly, it's probably one of the best matches of Ruby Soho's career. It's a phenomenal match. Well, not a phenomenal match, but it is a great match. And you also got Chris Statlander. She came out in Ben Stiller's Zoolander attire. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, overall, you even had Saraya try to get involved here and there, but nothing really worked out. And you had Toni Storm, believe it or not, cost Ruby Soho the TBS Championship match. And she basically, if there wasn't an end to the Outcast already, which I'm pretty sure All In was going to be the end of the Outcast, All Out pretty much was the end of the Outcast now. And based off the ending, it seems like we're going to get Tony versus Saraya for that AEW Women's Championship. I think that sounds good to me. And yeah, Chris Statlander retaining sounds pretty good. And a lot of people were trying to argue that, Jade should have never lost the belt to Chris. Yeah. I'm sorry, but matches like this prove you wrong. So overall, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10.
Man, see what I was talking about Ruby Soho, that she can actually wrestle. I always say that Ruby Soho is this a secret of AEW's women division. She can do the job perfectly, and that's what I was trying to say for so long. And Chris saying that Ruby Soho is bad at wrestling, I would say that Ruby is a great wrestler, and this shows that in this match how good she was. We had a lot of good things happen, and a lot of fun things happen. Don't get me wrong, I was sad to see Ruby lose because I wanted Ruby to win to get that title. But to see the Outcasts kind of to be the ending makes perfectly fine for me. I'm okay with that. But I hope that sooner or later, Ruby finally gets that title around her waist. Whatever title would it be, TBS or the AEW Women's Championship, one of those two, or Ring of Honor, one of those three actually. But I'm happy to see this match. That's what I need to see Tony Khan do is use Ruby Soho in more big matches because she can deliver. That's what I was saying. I'm gonna give this an 8.5.
Listen, man, I may dislike Ruby, but just because she had one good match doesn't make her a good wrestler. I'll give credit where it's due. I thought this match was gonna suck, but Ruby actually delivered. She was great in the ring with Chris Chandler. It only took her almost 2 years to actually have a good match, but whatever. I'll just wait for Ruby to cook some more then, because honestly, it was amazing. Well, it wasn't amazing, but it was good enough for me. It was serviceable. I kind of wish the match went on a little bit longer, and it was kind of weird seeing Tony Storm just out of the ring out of nowhere. So I liked it. I'll give it a 7 as well.
Now, we move on to the strap match. Bryan Danielson versus Ricky Starks. Now, there wasn't really a build to this match, but all the build that happened for this was basically good enough on Saturday Night Collision. And even though it was not a good Collision episode, the highlight of that episode was Ricky Starks and him talking about how he has to constantly start over. And without saying it, the Punk firing kind of has to do with that. He was supposed to main event this show. And because of that incident, that doesn't happen anymore. So now, desperate enough to be on this pay-per-view, he calls out 70-year-old man Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And again, he's just angry. He's in a fit of rage. He wants to prove himself no matter what. And then Ricky Steamboat comes out. And he's like, you want to face the Dragon? All right, that's fine. And the contract doesn't even say Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. It just says the Dragon. And the Dragon turned out to be Bryan Danielson, who has been gone since AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door 2023. So, Ricky was like, shit. Well, if this is the bed that I've laid in, I better make sure I'm real comfortable. All the hype that needed to be done was done in one promo. And then to make things even better, Bryan had a super passionate promo on the 0 hour of All Out, talking about how the last strap match he had was against a person he loved, Bray Wyatt, by the way, and it was when he was the Fiend, and by the way, best strap match of all time. Don't argue that with me. But this match can be a close second. That's for damn sure. So, Bryan was talking about how the last person he fought in the strap match he loved. So now he is facing Ricky Starks, a person that he now has hate for due to him basically calling out a 70-year-old man. Like, as Bryan said, what the hell was wrong with you? So, To Bryan, this was already personal. And to Ricky, this was as personal as it could get. So what you got here was a passionate and fantastic strap match. This was only 16 minutes long. And when I found that out, I was shocked. Because I felt like they did just about enough to make this feel like a 20, 30-minute classic. This was just fantastic stuff from both guys. And again, I keep saying the best match of this person's career, the best match of this person's career throughout the night. I said it for Hobbs. I said it for Miro. I said it for Ruby Soho. Now I'm going to say it for Ricky Starks. What the fuck, man? This pay-per-view is great. And again, it just proves my point. This is my personal favorite match of the entire show. It was brutal. It was bloody. And the end was my favorite part. Ricky, when he was getting choked by the strap, and his eyes literally looked like they were about to burst out of his head. It looked like he was about to die. But he refused to tap. He passed out. Virgin Moxley gets choked by Hangman and taps. Chad Ricky gets choked by Bryan and refuses to tap. I'm just saying. Moxley should have never tapped against Hangman, but that's another argument for another day. This was fantastic. Bryan got that W, and it's a wonderful return for him. He did reveal that he only has a year left on his contract, but we'll probably have to talk about that another time. So overall, I'm giving this a 9.5 out of 10. Best match of the whole pay-per-view.
Yeah, this was very fun. I really loved the match. I was anticipating because I love strap matches, including that Bray Wyatt Fiend versus Bryan Danielson was a great match. Great strap match too. I was excited to watch this. I was so interested, and it was none to bet one of the best matches of this card. I'll probably say number one best match of the card. It was so much fun. It had so many great moments. It seemed that Ricky the Dragon Steamboat trying helping Danielson with Big Cass, I'm gonna call him right now. It's really good. It's really funny to see that the whole time kind of helping out. It was very fun. The match was so good, and seeing Ricky getting choked out all to hell, it's great. I love that whole thing. It was so much fun. I can't say anything else, but it was just so much fun to watch. Definitely 9.5.
And same here. Not only that, dude. Well, if we're going to the John Moxley thing real quick, John Moxley, a beta. You can't hang with the other kids, Daniel. Unlike my boy Ricky, who can take these bumps. And also too, what was really cool is like I thought it was just gonna be like a slogger fest against Bryan versus Ricky. Like Bryan would just like kick his ass for most of this match, but it wasn't. It was actually the opposite of Ricky basically taking these dubs. And there's even that cool short cameo of the original Dragon. I mean, it was a little cheesy him taking out Big Bill, but it was stupid fun. Like this whole match, it's just great from start to finish. Not much else I can say. I'm giving this another goddamn 10. We got 2 10s in this pay per view, and you can sue me because there's gonna be more in this fucking review, and you can sue me again.
Now, we move on to match number 7. Eddie Kingston and Shibata versus Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. It was good. Don't take my words out of context here. It was good. But this belonged on a TV episode rather than a pay-per-view. Especially due to the fact that this was just kind of done and added to the card last minute. Yeah, this felt like it could have been the main event of an ROH show. But that's alright. Overall, Claudio knocked him out with that uppercut. Legit ending. It kind of surprised me, but, it makes sense. Knockout, uppercut. Overall, 7 out of 10. Good match.
Yeah, it was not a bad match. It is okay. I still saying I'm not so happy sometimes when I see Claudio win by an uppercut. It feels to me just lazy. I know maybe it's just saying, oh yeah, because how powerful his uppercuts are, but like he should be winning by either a neutralizer or his Ricola bomb. Like if he doesn't win by that, it just feels weird. It just feels like super interrupt. But I don't know. Maybe he should use that uppercut a little bit more like a running uppercut to knock someone out. I'll be okay with that. But this was an okay match. I'll give this a 7.
And I'm under the same impression too. Like it wasn't anything crazy, but what's really pissing me off is just the fact that they keep doing Eddie dirty again. This is like the third time he's already lost to Claudio of not even a finisher. It was just more of his uppercut thing, if anything. And I'm like, dude, you really gonna fucking do Eddie Kingston this dirty? You acting like he's a fucking mid card jobber. This dude was a New Japan Strong Champion at one point. Damn it. I think he still is, but I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, he still is.
See? And they don't even care. Tony doesn't care about Eddie. He's just gonna keep losing to BCC for no fucking reason. Man, fuck this match. Just give
Yeah,
this shit a 6. I changed my mind. That is fucking bullshit.
I will give it to you. I am tired of seeing Eddie lose. It is nonsensical now. You know what's sad? And you know what I thought about? I know what they're doing now. You know how their next ROH pay-per-view is in December, ROH Final Battle?
Yeah.
I think they're literally trying to delay that moment till the end of the year for Final Battle. I think that's why they're prolonging this for so long.
They're pulling a fucking bloodline where it goes nowhere for
Yeah,
3
they're pulling a
years.
bloodline. They're pulling a bloodline.
And it's not even a good bloodline.
Yeah, it's pretty whack. Eddie deserves his moment. So now let's move on to this next match. Chris, these are literally your two boys. I should let you talk about this first. What did you think?
Listen, man. I know I may be biased for Konosuke and Kenny, but god damn it, I don't know what the hell happened last week when we did All In, because those two gave me no faith whatsoever that this match is going to be absolute banger, and they proved me wrong. The chemistry from start to finish was insane. Kenny just being the offensive guy, being his heelish tactical self of using his Terminator moves, and not so much cheating, but just him being an overall good face. But god damn it, Konosuke, like the G he is, defeating Kenny Omega with his own finisher. Sure, it may have taken him 3 times, but it just established that Konosuke is going to be the next big heel, and he's going to join the Bullet Club soon, and I goddamn believe it. This match is a fucking masterpiece. I'm giving it a 10. Go watch it.
So, to quickly say this. So his finisher, I know what you're talking about. It's that running knee, right?
Mm-hmm. V trigger, dude.
So that's actually Konosuke's finisher.
I
That's
thought
not
his
even like a jab at Kenny.
because I thought his finisher was the Blue Bomber.
The Blue Thunder Bomb?
Yeah.
No, that's finisher.
No, so he basically, this is what commentary mentioned. I like that they mentioned it. So Konosuke Takesha's first opponent in his entire wrestling career was Sami Zayn. And he borrowed two of his big signature and finisher moves, you know, the Haluva kick and the Blue Thunder Bomb, which is why you see him hit that all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, the running knee is his actual finisher. But yeah, as commentary said, he's basically a combination of Sami Zayn, Kota Ibushi, and Kenny Omega, because those were like his three influences. And and then Jun Akiyama. So all four of them were like his big influences in the game, and it's kind of like a combination of all four of them, which I can kind of see. But yeah, this match was fantastic. I felt like it was kind of on a similar quality scale to Omega Pac from All Out 2019. It kind of reminded me of that a little bit. And yeah, Konosuke did literally everything he could to put Kenny out. And yeah, Kenny continues his losing streak on AEW pay-per-view. He has lost every AEW pay-per-view in 2023. And the fact that there's only 2 left, I think it's going to continue that way. I think they're pulling a Cena 2012 with Kenny here. And I think Kenny's just going to lose every single match this year on pay-per-view. And then 2024 will be like his redemption year. I'm pretty sure that's where all this is headed. But yeah, overall, I'm going to give this a 9.5 out of 10. Fantastic match.
Yeah, this was so much fun too. I loved the match. I was excited to see this. Sucks that they did not change freaking Konosuke's music. I do not like that music. Everyone should agree with me that his music is not good for him right now. You need to have someone make his music like a Japanese guy sing a song during with that doom doom like that sound. Make someone sing during it. Like it's very plain. I don't like it. But the match, even if, was so freaking great. I loved it too. Everything was so good. Everyone fit. It was not bad. It was not good. It was not even. It was nothing bad about it. It was so great about it. Seeing Konosuke hit his finisher. The name is Power Drive. The Power Drive knee strikes 3 times. 2 with the knee pad on. 1 bare knee is great. You can see how powerful it looks. So much fun, and I had so much fun watching it. I gotta give this a 9.52.
And that's the thing. Konosuke Takeshita is not even 30 yet. He's going to have a huge future ahead of him. That's all I can really say. Now, we move on to match number 9. Bullet Club Gold, or also known as the Bang Bang Gang, versus FTR and the Young Bucks. So FTR and the Young Bucks, they're forced to work together to try to beat the overall powerful Bullet Club Gold, who has gained momentum throughout these months. And yeah, this would be yet another statement made by Bullet Club Gold. And they got the win here. And yeah, as for Chicago, they actually gave positive reactions to Adam Page and Kenny Omega. But as for the Young Bucks, they did not get the same love. There was a very, very polarizing reaction here towards the Young Bucks. And yeah, that does not surprise me one bit. They did play into it a little bit, so that was fun and all. I felt like this was a good match. I feel like my main complaint, though, is similar to the one of the tag team matches earlier, BCC versus Kingston and Shibata. I felt like this match could have main evented a TV episode rather than be on pay-per-view. But yeah, that's all right. Bullet Club Gold get a pay-per-view win here. All was fine and dandy. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, this was very fun. I was excited. Guys, I love right now. I love Bullet Club Gold, mainly my boy Jay White. I love to see. It was very fun. I kind of love to see that FTR and Young Bucks were using their own finishers with each other. So one was doing the Mind Breaker or the Power Driver Spike. It would be one of the FTR people, and then one of the Young Buck people doing that finisher, or the Shadow Machine do the opposite too. It's fun. I actually really like it too. The whole thing, I was very excited. I was very actually happy to see Bullet Club win again. I was actually thought FTR was going to win, but FTR, I'm happy that Bullet Club Gold win. And I have the feeling that probably now FTR have the new challengers now, the Guns. I feel like Guns are going to go against FTR for that title because they pinned FTR. So I kind of feel like probably the next tag title championship match that's going to happen with FTR is going to be the Guns. So it's going. I think I'm okay with that too. It sounds so much fun to watch. So this was actually a fun match. I like this match. So I'm going to give this a 7.5.
This match literally proved one thing to me, guys. You know what that is?
Huh?
That Jay White isn't the leader of Bullet Club Gold. That man, and I'm not even kidding, is Juice Robinson. Because that guy carried this goddamn match, and I know what you're about to say, Daniel. So you just say it. Just say you coward.
Juice Robinson.
Don't
Are
fuck,
you serious?
don't fucking. I'm being dead serious,
Juice
dude.
Robinson.
This man's gonna save this company. This man
Juice
is so
Robinson
entertaining.
is the one brown stain in the golden staple. You got a legit player in Jay White. You got a growing tag team in the Guns. And you got this absolute doofus in Juice Robinson.
Sir, you just don't understand the complexity, dude.
Leader my ass.
This is like
The leader is Jay White, fam.
Jay White is a subordinate to fucking Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson is the true Sith Lord of this goddamn faction. He's the man that actually gets shit done, and it's even more genius because no one takes him seriously. But let's be real here. He kicks the most amount of ass. He brings the best presentation, and this match is downright awesome from start to finish. So I'm
You,
gonna give it
you,
an 8.5.
you know what? Juice Robinson
Hmm?
to Jay White is the Leo Rush to the Bobby Lashley.
No, because Juice Robinson actually has fucking talent.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. You can find me.
At
I'm
what,
being
what,
dead serious,
way?
dude. This guy literally is
In
so
what way?
entertaining.
He's
He's
not a
such a
good
dude.
wrestler.
Yes, he is. Are you being serious right
What,
now?
his matches are not good. The only good match he's had in AEW is the big tag team matches with FTR.
It's just gonna get better from here, Daniel. Dude, I know when he
He's not
eventually breaks up the Bullet Club Gold, it's gonna be a
honestly
sad
when he
day.
was first signed to AEW, I was like, what? Who made that call? No
No,
one wanted him
I
here.
want him. He's saving. Pause. Okay, that sounded kind of weird. Pause. But point being, this match is great. I loved it. Juice is awesome. My favorite member of the Bullet Club. 8.5.
No, I'm gonna bring that up very quickly. I'm actually, I half and half agree with Chris. I actually am a big fan of Juice. To me, I'm actually was a big fan of Juice, and when he was United States United States, IWGP United States champion, was very happy. I was loving him. I still say he was very fun, but I don't agree that he's the leader. Leader is Jay White, the boy, the King Switch. It's always going to be Jay White, but the only thing I would say is that probably Juice Robinson is just the right hand man of Jay White.
Yes, the Jimmy Uso to Roman Reigns.
Listen, man. Jay White is just a merchandise seller. Juice is the real heart and muscle of this team.
If you want to tell yourself that, you can go ahead.
I'm not even trolling right now, dude.
If it
That guy's
wasn't for,
actually great.
I don't know what you see in him.
I see a goddamn entertainment guy.
I don't. It's like the way people love Will Nightingale. I don't see what they see in her. I don't see what you see in Juice. It's the same thing for me.
Man,
I
whatever.
think Juice is not good.
You know what? We could agree to disagree, man.
All right, you ready to talk about this main event?
Hell yeah, dude.
AEW International Championship Match. Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley. Holy moly, this is a match. So it began with Mox biting Cassidy to the point where he was making him bleed. And he was doing a lot of that actually to the point where I was starting to go like, all right, it's just going to be a lot of biting. But then it really picked up. And at one point, I felt like I was watching Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns rather than Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley with all the cutters and Superman punches and spears that were happening. So yeah, that kind of threw me off. Like I was like, am I watching Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton, or am I watching Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley? But that's a different story. Overall, this was a great match. And when you go to the last 5 minutes of this match, man, you just get some perfect shit right there. And you really have Orange Cassidy showing how much heart he has and how far he's willing to go to try and keep his title. But in the end, it's just not enough. Moxley wasn't even dropping a single drip of blood. He was basically all good. He just whipped Orange Cassidy's ass. And you could tell there was a part of him that felt a little sympathetic while doing it, but he knew that he had to do that. He had to get the job done. And that's what he did. So, Jon Moxley is your new AEW International Champion. Now, a lot of people are going to have a lot of different thoughts on Orange Cassidy's title reign.
I was very happy actually. It was a very great match. I really liked how this match was going. I never had actually anything bad to, but I actually really liked this match. I think the point was very fun. I loved it. Where it was Orange Cassidy gave him the Superman punch, then went back and forth on wait, he's just gonna go for another running. but pretty much saying mocking John Moxley's and hit Roman Reigns' version spear, and that was very good how they did that. I actually really like that moment. That's kind of shows something that just shows that I really like that, and just the match in general is just so great. It has a lot of moments in the match that it was interesting. The match at the end was great to see. Every point of this match to me, I loved. I had a lot of fun watching it. It's definitely a great main event. I'm gonna give this a 9.
Oh yeah, but yeah. Back to what I was saying though. Yeah, I thought this was great. I thought Orange Cassidy's reign. A lot of people were gonna have different thoughts on it, but I thought that was great. I'm gonna give this an 8.5 of 10.
And then to kick it off, I'll give it a 9. Orange Cassidy may have lost, dude, but he went at like a goddamn G. Like it was so cool just see him like taking shots after shots, and even his little like middle fingers to John Moxley. Like the guy doesn't break character, and that's great. That's what just makes OC OC. And you know, if I'll dragging it a little bit longer, it's a classic. It's not my favorite match of the night, but damn it, it's pretty damn good. So again, it's gonna get a 9.
All right. Now this was, in my opinion, the best all-out pay-per-view AEW has produced. Maybe I wouldn't say it's the best AEW show of all time, but top 5, I can probably put it there. So overall, I'm going to give this joint an 8.5 out of 10. I highly recommend this pay-per-view.
Yeah, I really liked it to myself. I really loved it. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm gonna give this a 9.
And I'm gonna give it a 9.5. It's probably one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time with AEW has produced. It beats the New Japan. This pay-per-view is so damn good. Go in and watch it.
Yeah. Now, for me personally, I still think the best pay-per-view this year goes to either Revolution or Forbidden Door. But this can definitely be number 3 for AEW. So, yeah, what do you guys think so far? What do you, out of the 5 pay-per-views we've seen from AEW, which one do you think is the best we've seen so far?
Right now, it's this. Right now, it's the. I think it's AEW all out right now. The Forbidden Door and Revolution for me. I think right now, I think Forbidden Door is number 2. All out for now, right now, is actually number 1, and number 3 would be Revolution for me.
And yeah, I'm agreeing with Berman, but this is still I'm still going with it. This is probably one of the best previews that AEW has ever produced. As crazy as it sounds.
Yeah, especially when you think about the fact that this show had like little to no hype at all. Well,
It delivered.
it did. Now, before we all go, I have one final announcement to say. We are going to be going on break for a little while, probably for the next month or so. But when I say break, we're not talking an overall break. We're talking just a break from the weekly content. We're not going to be recording every single week for these videos, but we do have some content planned on the way. Of course, we'll review NXT No Mercy and AEW Wrestle Dream when those happen later this month. Well, NXT No Mercy September 30th, and then the day after would be October 1st for Wrestle Dream. We will review both after those events take place. And we will also be doing a retro review as well during the meantime. And if there's like something massive that happens within the next 2 months, we'll talk about that as well. But yeah, we will be back for good sometime in November for AEW Full Gear. And maybe, just maybe, we'll open our horizons and see what else we could do for those retro reviews. But that's all I'll leave it at for now. So please be looking out for our content on the way. We promise you guys, we won't be just abandoning the internet and disappearing for the next 2 months. Please be on the lookout. With that all being said, please like the video and subscribe to support us and get us further in the algorithm. That'd be incredibly appreciated. And if you guys decided to watch this all from start to finish, I really appreciate that. We all really appreciate that. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I've been Daniel.
I've been Berman.
I've been Chris.
And we'll see you all in the next one. Take it easy.